Welcome to K. Elizabeth Toasts, a podcast celebrating people who increase our quality of life. I'm your host, K. Elizabeth. Each episode is a heartfelt interview of a remarkable person making lives better through one of the 5 social determinants of health. The World Health Organization says these social determinants can impact up to 55% of our health outcomes. That's more than our lifestyle choices and medical care combined. In this episode, we are focusing on the social determinant of neighborhood and built environment. Give a listen if you are in need of a dopamine hit, or if you like toast, because this toasts for you.
I'm Marc. I live in the Linden Hills neighborhood of Minneapolis. I am a retired special education teacher, a widower, and I just love the outdoors. I came to be a bocce player by accident, but it was a wonderful accident. What I want to tell you is the story of the Linden Hills Bocce Club, if I can just go on.
Yeah.
Well, 7, 8, 9 years ago, there's a group of us retired guys. I'm pretty sure Dale, another board member and founding father of the Bocce League, probably had bocce balls already, and he got us interested. So we were going down, whoever was available. There might be 2 of us, there might be 6 or 8 of us. We'd go down to the Linden Hills Park and just play on the softball infields, which was fine. We had fun. It was like pickup baseball. It was pickup bocce.
If you were to describe what bocce is...
Oh, okay. Actually, I learned in my research, some version of it is possibly 5,000 years old.
Whoa.
And it might have originated in Egypt. Bocce is a game in which any number of people can play. You can play one-on-one. You can come down with a group of your friends. But it's essentially each team has 4 balls that they're going to put in play. At the start of a frame, think of innings in baseball. There's a small white ball that looks like a golf ball, a little bigger than a golf ball, that one team rolls out onto the court. And the object of the game then is to roll your balls to get as close to that white ball, which is called a pallino or a pallina. And then the team with the balls closest to the pallina, after you've each rolled your 4 balls, gets points. Do you want me to go more in detail about that?
That is perfect.
Okay, that's what we do. I don't know if you know, but there's another set of professional bocce courts up in Beltrami Park in northeast Minneapolis. Beltrami is an old Italian neighborhood, and their courts go back, I'm not quite sure, but decades. I'm guessing at least the 60s, maybe even longer. So they take it very seriously up there. And so we guys, all retired, lots of time on our hands, we decided to have a field trip up there, play on these professionally made bocce courts. And then, since we were close to Central Avenue, where there's dozens of restaurants, we'd go out and have a beer and have food. So we went up there, and these courts were amazing. And we loved it from the first. It was like kids going to an amusement park. We were so happy to play bocce there. Then we go out to dinner. We ended up eating Mexican, and so we had some cervezas. And somebody said, we have to get these in our park. And so out of that group, 4 of us were ready to do something about it.
Wow.
So Dale, myself, Rick, and Steve, all neighbors, we decided to see if we could get the courts built. And we did a lot of groundwork. We first met with Link, the neighborhood organization, and then we moved on and met with the Minneapolis Park Board, and everybody was very, very interested in this. The way we pitched it was, first of all, any age can play. Anybody can play this game. It's very good for older people because it's not that physically demanding a sport, and yet it's a physical challenge to be good at the sport.
Yes.
We also pitched that women can play, men can play, anybody can play. It's just easy. The other thing we pitched was how social it is. During a match, at your end of the court, there's two of your team and two of the other teams. So you're meeting all these people, and when your end isn't playing, when the other end is rolling, you're talking and having a good time. It's tremendously social. And we also pitched that it is handicapped accessible. And our design allowed for wheelchairs to come right up onto the court. So we thought our enthusiasm won them over, but we also won them over because we said we would build the courts, pay for them, and donate them to the park. It's hard to turn that down. It was probably all those things. The reason we did it that way is we're a bunch of old guys. And if we got on the park board docket, if they said, yeah, this is great, we'll do it, we didn't know how long we'd have to wait. We wanted the courts.
You wanted to play
as soon as we could. We got approved with enthusiasm. Everybody was pleased about what we were doing. And let me think. Oh, so we raised the money.
Mm-hmm.
It costs a lot of money to build a bocce court. We obviously contributed ourselves. We hit up all our friends and family. Some businesses contributed pretty heavily. The park board actually gave us a grant. So this all started in 2017, and we raised enough money that we could build them in the spring of 2018.
That's fast.
It was.
That's crazy fast.
We didn't waste time, and we were very fortunate with the grants that we got. I mean, if we were working on individuals, it would have taken us forever, but we got some nice grants. We worked with a local architect right in the neighborhood. We were ready to start building the courts as soon as the frost left the ground and the ground was workable. We thought when we first got this idea of drinking beer and eating tacos, we thought we'd do the work. I mean, dig out the grass.
Yeah.
We actually thought we could do it. We learned pretty quickly that no, we had to hire somebody.
Yeah.
While they were building the court, somebody said we should have a league. And we thought that was a great idea. And so the four of us started brainstorming how we could start a league. And I guess that's the league part is what my strength is. In the beginning, I was the recruiter, the person that took all the names, told them to pick their first, second, and third choice nights. We, the board, came up with rules. I typed them all up. We came up with an actual schedule, and we started playing. I collected all the scores. I did all the recording of scores and the recording of the standings. I love doing this stuff. So for all the work that I loved, it was never a pain. When I had a way that people could help me, I had somebody help me. It was always a cooperative effort. But the actual running of the league...
That was you.
I was the face of the Bocce League. Those courts wouldn't be there and our league wouldn't be there if it wasn't for our board. Everybody on the board has their unique contribution to the board. The four of us originals, and now we have 9, and every one of the new board members has brought their unique gifts to it. Why we wanted new board members is because all 4 of us were well into our 70s. And we weren't going to either want to do this, who knows, next year or next week. And we wanted to be able to pass this on. And I think the first year we had 8 teams. That was 2018. we filled it up. And so we now have no trouble putting 32 teams out there 4 nights a week. And what I liked, and this is where you get into community, we filled it up with 32 teams that have played before. And so we have 32 repeat customers, and repeat teams, repeat neighbors, whatever you want to call them, who are committed to this league.
Yeah.
But we're seeing the same teams come back. And we have little clusters of teams that are 5 years with us, 3 years with us, 2 years with us, and even 1. And the thing that gives me the most pleasure is seeing how well received it's been. We've had people make contributions after this because they've seen what it does. Some neighbors across the street, when they saw the courts being built, I don't think they ever joined the league, but I noticed they were always over there playing.
Yeah.
But what I liked was it was fun to be with these people. Bocce is just a social game, as I said earlier. I love seeing the interplay between all the people. Strangers wander over and just watch and start talking to you. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
What I secretly love even more is when you see people showing up to play in the middle of the week that aren't in the... That's what I really wanted is every time I see people just over there on their own, I go, yes, this is what I wanted. And I think our big presence on weeknights, people drive by and see that. People are coming up to us and asking us about it and how do they get into it. We have put it out there to the park board that we will go talk to any park in the city and help them start a bocce league if they want. I would love to see more bocce leagues in different parks because it's such a neighborhood builder. Obviously, the 30 or 40 people each night who are there are having a good time in the city park. But all the people who pass by and see us, and people come over and they want to talk to us and they want to ask about it. And it's all the people who just come and watch. I've seen families come over with picnics and they set up and they play. And that's where I feel best.
Yeah. You had a clear impact into other people's lives in that way. That's amazing.
Well, I think so.
I also wondered if you would talk a bit about the picnic at the end.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. I don't want to forget that because in terms of talking about community, the picnic is all the teams are invited and we generally have a very good turnout. We set up tents. Oh, yes. So basically we all show up, we eat, and then at some point, Dale takes the stage usually and says it's time for awards. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek awards. We've had best dressed awards, most unusual rolling stance. Oh, I don't want to forget anything. I'm just so excited about this. This year, there's a guy on my team. He's a good friend of mine. We've canoed together and everything. And he's a second grade teacher. And kids will wander over. And before I can even stop him, he says, "Do you want to try?" And so he has all these little kids out there throwing the ball. And the parents come over and they're very happy. And so there was one match last year where a kid was nearby and she'd been around before. And Bruce, my teammate, who's the second grade teacher, was officiating. And he says to her, "Would you like to help me?" And so she got to do things like he said, "Okay, the green ball is closest. You have to call red throw. And this kid was just bursting with excitement. And then my partner came over with her grandson, and Bruce just immediately involved him. So these two kids were officials. And he knew how to teach too, because after he showed him, he would say, "Now, which color are you going to put up?" And the kid would say, "The green." So then we had to do this. But at our awards last year, we had I forget what we called it, but it was actually like the best officials award. And we gave an award to these two kids. And they were there. We made sure they were there. And so they got to go up and get their award with all these grown-ups looking at them. That was great fun. So I always come back to, we bring to that park every week 150 people who are just there having fun.
The beginning of the story is some guys and I went out, played bocce, drank some beer, had some tacos, and now we have 32 teams that play. So
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for someone who wants to do something to make the world better?
If you're talking like really globally and make the world better, I would say just get involved in some way.
Yeah.
There's so much to do. I mean, work at a food shelf. Go in and read to kids in a school. Schools are dying for volunteers. Just do something. Just get off your ass. And you feel so good.
I wondered if you had anyone in your life that you would like to recognize for increasing your quality of your own life.
I would have to say my deceased wife. Carol and I were together for 50 years. She died in 2019 of pancreatic cancer. She was my one true love in life. She was my closest friend, and she was always my final editor. She was a very special person. I think that she helped me more than I helped her. She showed me how to be giving and to be grateful. She is by far the person who's helped make me who I am today.
Cheers to Carol.
Cheers to her, yes.
Cheers to you for having tacos, creating a community from your small group of guys to a whole neighborhood community that is visible when people walk by, when they drive by, that brings people joy, for creating connections between strangers, for having a fantastic picnic where everyone gets to get together, and for being the head of the league. Cheers to you. This toast is for you.
Well, thank you.
Now it's time for your toast.
I'd like to send out a toast to my best friend and roommate, Salimah, who has been my nearest and dearest for the last almost 27 years. In big and small ways, every single day, she makes my life better, whether it's by listening to my latest philosophical perspectives on life, sharing gut-busting anecdotes and always remembering inside jokes, forever being down for a Starbucks run or drive to nowhere in particular with the windows down, binging season after season of Netflix shows, being my sous chef during marathon meal prepping weekends, putting up with my desire to always try new products, which we really don't have room for in our kitchen or home, or reminding me what's true on the days when I forget. I only hope I can add a measure of the joy to her life that she has brought and continues to bring to mine. Cheers to my bestie. Salimah, this toast is for you.
Now it's your turn. Honor someone who has positively impacted your life by recording your own toast at ketoasts.com. Thanks for joining us. And if you enjoyed this episode, please tap the follow button, rate us using the star button, and share this podcast with someone to keep us going. Then go toast up some bread, because every positive action is worth toasting.
Am I straying from the topic, or do you...
Well, you're a very good storyteller.
Well, it's a good story to tell. Well, I know where I come in. You have to understand that my 78-year-old brain just does not do names. What's that little bumper sticker thing? Think globally, act locally. Good-natured trash talk from them. And this one guy in particular, the guy I know best, he's a friend. Sometimes he would get on me, referencing, come on, ref. And so one day I totally surprised him and pulled out my yellow card and said, that's one, I'm shining on the media now, I guess. I'm honored that I got to do this, and I'm honored for her that you would include her in it.